Baseball is an old sport, old enough that many of its sights, sounds, equipment, and sayings have become ubiquitous throughout American culture. Think of a home run ball in football, or quantifying your romantic exploits in terms of bases. Consider Take Me Out to the Ball Game, or the sound of the bat connecting with the ball, the pop of the mitt as it cleanly receives a sharp toss. Some parts of the game remain a touch more modern, and while they've become a crucial part of the game today, they don't necessarily fit into the traditional understanding of baseball. Today, we'll be talking about one of those more modern additions. Originally donned to protect injured hands while batting, this piece of equipment first saw widespread use in the 60s and 70s. From safety and protection to style and comfort. Welcome back to The Bad Baseball Fan. Let's discuss the quick and simple history of batting gloves. Before we dive in, I just want to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe to The Bad Baseball Fan. Your engagement and support mean the world to me and go a long way in financially supporting my efforts. Anyways, let's dive in. While batting gloves earned widespread popularity in this sport starting in the latter half of the 20th century, reports of batters wearing leather gloves while batting date back to the late 19th century. The earliest evidence indicating a batting glove come from the old Washington Evening Star on July 3, 1897, where they mention one Tom Brown of the Washington Senators wearing his leather fielding glove to bat to protect an injured hand. The practice may not have stuck, but it was only a mere 4 years before it was replicated by Huey Jennings of the Philadelphia Phillies. An article from the time, written by John B. Foster, implied heavily that Jennings donned his fielding glove while batting to protect an injured hand, just as Tom Brown had done. It would be another 3 decades before another major league player had to protect his hand while batting with a glove. Ironically, even though it had been a long time since it had been tried, not just one, but 2 Dodgers felt the need to don a glove for some at-bats. Both Lefty O'Doul and Johnny Frederick were forced to protect injured hands while playing offense in 1932 due to injuries. O'Doul donned street gloves, while Frederick wrapped his hand in bandages and padding. It's worth noting that fielding gloves at this point were no longer applicable while batting, as they had grown in padding and overall size rather dramatically. Over in the rival American League, Tigers rookie catcher Huey Wise began advocating for the use of golf gloves while batting to improve grip and cushion while swinging the bat. His idea was dashed with a bit of old-world toxic masculinity when he was referred to as a Bolshevik and a sissy for the gloved practice, and it had yet to catch on. 17 years later, the 1949 season saw the golf glove make a brief reemergence when it was used by the Giants' Bobby Thompson during batting practice and by the Braves' Mark Rickert during some games to protect an injured finger. 2 years later, a different Bobby Thompson, one who played for the Pirates, was gifted a pair of batting gloves to help improve his feel with the bat and thus his hitting, though it's unclear if he ever used them. It was more than a decade before the baseball world paid witness to another batter donning a glove. But this time, it would stick. On September 4th, 1964, the Kansas City Athletics played a game against the New York Yankees. Athletics first baseman and outfielder Ken "Hawk" Harrelson was confident that he wouldn't be in the lineup that night, as the Yankees were starting a righty and he was primarily used against lefties. Knowing this, Hawk went ahead and shot 27 holes of golf during the early part of the day, severely blistering his left hand. Upon arriving to the ballpark for that night's game, Harrelson learned that the Yankees were starting Whitey Ford that night, and that he, in fact, would be in the lineup. Fearing a diminished ability to hit due to his blistered hands, he grabbed his golf glove, wearing it on his left hand while batting to protect his raw hand. He went on to smack 2 home runs against Ford that night, and essentially changed the sport forever. With Harrelson breaking the seal, batting glove usage quickly became ubiquitous around the sport. By the next season, golf clubs were being counted amongst the recent innovations in baseball. They were not without their detractors, though, as some of the previously mentioned toxic masculinity persisted for several decades, with several ball players refusing to don batting gloves because they weren't sissies. Regardless of hostilities towards the usage of batting gloves, their popularity grew and grew and grew. By 1970, the Baltimore Orioles were hosting a batting glove day, where they gave away free batting gloves to fans. The new equipment was here to stay. In today's baseball, you can hardly find a player who does not employ the use of batting gloves. The gloves have evolved from simple leather golf gloves to complex patterns fashioned from both leather and synthetic materials. Sometimes they offer extra padding for the fingers or protection for the back of the hand. And often, the batting glove serves as a fashion statement as much as it does a practical piece of equipment. From fielding mitts in the late 19th century to a custom pair of Bruce bolts, batting gloves have had a long journey to become the crucial piece of equipment they are today. And while it took a very long time for them to be tested out in a game, we know now that the idea had been toyed with for decades. It just took somebody like Ken Harrelson to show us their true value. Thank you for joining me on this quick exploration of a simple yet important piece of baseball. Make sure you like and subscribe, and leave a comment below letting me know if you used batting gloves or not. If you want other ways to support the Bad Baseball Fan, consider buying a hat or a shirt from our merch store, or joining as a channel member. Any financial support is greatly appreciated, as it helps me continue to explore the history of baseball. Anyways, that's all for now. Thank you so much for being here. And remember, if you like baseball, like this video and subscribe for more.